Okay. Summation on Gimmel. We'll do a little bit of a Chazara from the beginning and then we'll move ahead. It's a Shem.
It's very cool that we learn Gemara and Halacha, and it's the
Yes, I'm glad you.
same exact thing.
Yes,
But we did that also with the other one. With
yes,
the
that's what I enjoy doing very much. And this is the Mahalach. This is the approach that we have here. So you learn Gemara and then you don't see how the Halacha comes out of it, or the other way around. You learn Halacha and you don't know the source. The best way is to learn it to comprehensive. You learn the Mishnah and the Gemara. You understand what the Rishonim say, and then you learn the Shulchan Aruch and you understand what the Poskim say. Okay, so let's start again. Simaresh Nun Gimel
see.
Sif Aleph.
Okay.
Now let's try to go with speed. Um, as you remember, we spoke about yesterday in the Gemara the machlokes of Chananya Chacham. Chananya is a very mekel, and Chachamim are very machmer. Chananya says as long as the food is cooked, Michael ben Desoy, if you want to do shehiyah, if you want to leave it there, you don't need to have a gruf oktuma, you don't need to have a blech. And Chacham say no. Even if it was cooked, fully cooked, as long as it's mistamak v'yafalai, maybe other opinions say even if it's mistamak v'aloi, you have to have gruf oktuma, you have to have a blech. We spoke yesterday about the machlokes rishonim. Half the rishonim go this way, and half the achronim go the rishonim go the other one. Kirish yesu again kedera gedola masik abater al shula of shefsna pia kedera lamayla v'hi aruko ktsor. Like the Tanya talks about the derech aruko ktsor. It's aruch and kotzer. From here to here is short, from here to here is long. V'yesh balamayla makom shvis is base kederis. The top you could put two kederis. Simulation Gimel. Just started this second.
Yeah.
This second. Everything you need to know
So
about a blech.
Kedera is a pot,
Yeah,
and a kira
is the oven.
is the oven.
It's a page Kuf Yud Aleph. Everything you need to know about the blech and about the oven and about the hot plate. So you have no warm food on Shabbos?
Yeah. Sure.
Chont, okay. So chont also is part of the shaila. Okay. Assimilation on Gimel on page Kuf Yud Aleph. Din kire vetano litna le kedere ber of Shabbos. Boy chof tesif. Page Kuf Yud Aleph. Got it? Kire shesu ken kedere gedele uktsor. A kire that's it's like this tissue box. It's from here to here is short, from here to here is long. You can usually would put two pots on the top. Kiddush, they put coals inside the chef's LP on the top. They put they put a pot. They can put two pots on the side on the top. As if there is gefen, which is the leftovers when they press the zaysim. What's left over is like logs of wood. Or logs of wood. You're not allowed to put a tafshel there. If you want to leave it for the night or for the day, it doesn't matter. If the food is not cooked, later we're going to say is a machloikis if it's Rashi and Rambam, if it's a third or 50% cooked. There was a ganev. He wanted to eat fast. He didn't want to wait. So when it was cooked 50%, when the meat was cooked, the steak was cooked 50%, he wanted to eat it already. He didn't want to wait. The Ghana from yesterday became the fancy people of today, medium rare, rare. Nechten was a given Nechten Ghana. He became today's gentleman.
Yeah.
So that was his name was Ben Drusoy. He was a famous liston. So Chazal call it Michael Ben Drusoy. If it's not cooked, Michael Ben Drusoy. We say there's a problem. Why? Shem Yechata Pinishi Nair, he's going to shake. The Hapaka Gacholim is going to churn the coals, the Machta, with the shovel. The Shabbos on Shabbos, and finish the Bishul. Forget it, Shabbos. and he'll pick up the shovel and start turning around the coals to make it hot. Unless it's gerufa. Gerufa means shagorach min kol hakocholim mifutz. He took all the kocholim out of the oven. Oisheketuma. What's ketuma mean? And shekisa kocholim be'efer l'maat chamim. He put a thin layer of sand. It doesn't have to be that there's not even you see any eish. Even if it's a little bit of sand. Even if the gecholim later became red hot, it doesn't matter. Because he was megala dash, he doesn't need the gecholim. Now we're not scared shem yechata b'shav. And the gecholim that became very weak, arim kiktuma, that has the din of tuma. How do we know this? From the Gemara we learned yesterday from Rebbe, that even though it became later red hot, but if he put sand on the gecholim, so that's considered a blech. Even the Gemara says that it's only a halfway blech, but it's only according to Chacham. Here we're talking according to Chananya. A little bit more pilpul is required to understand the mokra halacha really. The musag bekashu gvava, but if all you put into this oven is kashu gvava, mutalash salah, you're allowed to put on top of it hava b'shena grufa like tuma. All you can put inside is straw. Is then you don't need to have a blech. You don't have grufa tuma. L'v'shem begachli akash v'agvava mamoshes klau. There's nothing, no substance to the little bit of straw.
It becomes ash.
It becomes ashes. We're not scared. He's going to take a shovel and start turning it around. I feel even if it was with wood, with the lismach lagdei, you could put a kedera on the outside to be soimach b'chutzalo outside. When it's still day, and leave it there for the night or for tomorrow. Even though when the night came, it wasn't yet cooked. We're not scared that he's going to turn the gecholim inside the oven. In order to quicken the cooking of the kedera that's outside of the oven. It's not going to help the fact you're going to turn the gecholim inside the oven. It's not going to help for something that's outside. There's two ovens, one next to the other. And there is a wall from cheres. What is gerufa ketuma? One is not. You're allowed to leave in the one that has a blech. Even though the other one that doesn't have a blech is pumping out heat, because that's called saimach, and that's chutzaloi. So bottom line is, if you want to be saimach to an oven, that's not a problem. You don't have to have gerufa ketuma. Sivdala the Tana Reish also again Kedere Gedoyle Roch Mamat Vatzarlamayla. Matach Niklat Chumalatach is in Bekira. The Tana goes like this. The bottom is and the top is a small, so the heat intensifies because it has like a cone shape.
Yeah.
Akita it's big, and on the top you can put two pots. A kupach is small, but it's a box. You can only put one pot. And a tanur is a cone.
Interesting. Over here, it calls it a tanur. So what's the difference between a tanur and a kira?
Kira is like this.
Oh, okay.
This is a kira.
Yeah.
The walls are straight, and there's in the top there's place for two pots.
And tanur is like with a chimney.
No, a tanur is with a chimney.
Yeah.
Shaman tanur is like a cone.
Concentrates the heat.
Concentrates the heat very strong. It concentrates the heat very strong. So anything. You're not allowed to even put a pot outside the tanur. So let us show him if it's so hot that your hand would burn there. I feel go to bekotim, even if it does have a blach. I feel also bekashu gvava, even if it has kashu gvava. Ain't tzarech loimal hashus al gaba for sure to be sure on top of it. But betoichri the metoich shehev lecham beyosim, because it's so hot. He's not masir dait. V'choshim shema yichata bezeh ha'eishem uta. We're scared that he's going to take a shovel and churn a little bit of fire that's in the oven. Even though it's only kashu gvava, it's only flax. It's only straw. And it's covered with sand. Still, we're very choshish by a tana. But if he took out the coals, what are you scared? The answer is he only takes out 95%. VF shaligat of kol haish. You can't take out all the fire. Because it's very hot. Yesh loch hashema yechata. He's going to turn around the little bit lahavin on it tzoitzes and a shodas betana to turn around the little bit of sparks that are left in the tana. Vim niskaded a hevla cheni yatzalat is b'sham. If it got so cold that if you put your finger there, it wouldn't burn. Put the lashes sham b'toyster. You're allowed to put the pot there. Kolchkin shmut the lashes al gabo or lisma chutzlo to put on the outside. Even on Shabbos, if where he's putting it is not yad saladis boy, it says in the brackets of a betoicha tan and mamish to open up the door, but then put it in a betoicha kira also lit in sham Shabbos. I feel it after bishkol tzarket. Avu bishim grufim ketumim vegam eni yad saladis b'am klal. K'moshe is boraz will explain later. Siva kupa shi asui kikira. Kupa is like this. Kida is like this. Is like this. It only has a place for one kedera. Because of that, the heat is more concentrated. It's less than the tanur, where the heat is mamish very concentrated. So therefore, we have three levels. Tanur is the worst, Kida is the least heat, and kupach is in the middle. There's tanur, kupach, and Kida. So Imusak bekash, oy begvava, in a kekida. And we're making like a kida. Shusak bekash gvava, musak begefes veitzim, then a kitana. Vatanurim shalom, our tanurim, shepischem menatzah, that the doors in the side, and you put like stuff in. Ein hevla meruba kol kach hevla tanur. It doesn't have so much hevla like a tanur. Should be made in those days. Well, look at hevla kupach, and it doesn't have like the heat of a kupach. Therefore, the tanurim shabiyamenu have the dinas of akira, the most cool.
Was 300 years ago.
Exactly. That's what the Mishnah Berurah says. There are shittas that say, but manazeh, there's tanurim very hot. They're red hot. What do you think? But Lapal Dal Rebbe brings kilo that all our tanurim are like a kira. We'll talk about it in a second. This is all of it started cooking. It wasn't cooking. If it's raw, what the litna feel about chatanu? You're allowed to put it even in atana. Go to the cotton, even in atanu, and even a gefes veitz, and even no blech. We're not scared he's going to turn Shabbos the coals. Even it's raw meat. He's not thinking until tomorrow. He knows he can't eat it till tomorrow. It's like a cholm. By night he won't be able to eat it. Even if he's going to turn the coals. So why would the person turn the coals? For tonight, it's not going to help. As much as he turns, it's not going to get cooked so quick. And for tomorrow, he doesn't have to turn it. So we're not choishish. He has to put it a minute before the sun sets. If you're going to put it there when it's still plenty time in the day, then it's already a little bit cooked. Take it off as soon as the sun is about to set. Unless it was already cooked, then we're not choshesh v'chituy. Even without any chituy. Even without any chituy. It could already cook because it's already because 50% already cooked. A person can eat it now. So there's two ways of chacham when not choishish. If you put in raw meat, or it was cooked. It was already cooked. Michael Bender soy. Called ze. Even if you only put one piece, mutter kilo as if it was all raw. One raw piece of meat. He's not thinking of the whole date until tomorrow. It's to be mamish raw meat. So therefore, there's no way this dish will be ready tonight. But a vegetable that's raw. It's similar to a vegetable. Also, you're not allowed to leave it on the fire without a blech. I don't care this bashal kamachal and the soy, but yeah, let's also cook kamachal and the soy. The fish af shulcha, even it's raw. Yochulu is bashal tzar chalayla. You can still cook for tonight. May masir dait man al mocher, and it's not masir till tomorrow.
Because vegetable doesn't take so much time.
20 minutes, it's ready.
So when did you put it?
Right before
And it's not going to help to put a vegetable raw. Most poskim say that's why Bisman Hazeh, there's no shakula to say that I put in a minute before the sunset to put in in the fire in the oven, or to say that it's bosar chai, because those days the fire was shvach, and if you had raw meat, it's a minute before shkia, that meat ain't gonna be ready until tomorrow. So Chamsa, don't worry about it, Manusha. Tonight he could turn the coals. Right. Because tonight they'll turn the kolim. Not going to help. It's going to stay raw. And for tomorrow, he doesn't have to turn the kolim. It's already going to cook for tomorrow. It's not true. If you have an oven, a stove, a piece of meat, 2 hours, gets ready.
Much less.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's funny. We're machmir in this. We're very makel. We say that today, all our ovens are called kirayim, which is the least. There's kirayim, kupach, tanur, right? We say that tanurim shalonu bezman hazeh.
The heat in our day is different. Stay the same heat all the time. It's not like
but the truth is,
and you said at 350, stay 350 in 5
because
minutes the whole time.
So that's a separate discussion. That's a totally separate discussion. Let's just do one more sif and we'll talk about it. There is an opinion that says that even if it's cooked I feel it's bashal cold circuit, fully cooked. As long as it's mitztamik v'yafaloi, like a chont, which the more it cooks, the more delicious it is. A person is happy that it's cooking and cooking. Dover le'ilu hischel is bashal, v'lo is bashal. Adayin kemachel so the din is equal. Yeah, she's bala mila. Ukvar nespashet aminig lahokol kesvora rishoina. The minig already is to be makel kesvora rishoina. Okay. So let's summarize and then we'll talk about practical. So the Alter Rebbe brings first the shit of Hananya and then shit of Chacham. Hananya says, as long as it's cooked k'maychem on the soil, you don't need a blech. So I don't care if it's a kida, a kupa, chatanu. Once it's cooked 50%, you don't need a blech. L'gabi shihiyah. Chazara will learn next week. L'gabi putting it back. Once you take it off, you want to put it back. Totally different story. L'gabi shihiyah, Chananya says, as long as it's cooked k'maychem on the soil, there's not a problem. You don't need gruf uktum, you don't need nothing. So I don't care even if it's a tanur, gefes beitzim, no problem. The Chacham say no. Even if it's fully cooked, you need to have gruf uktum, and you have a problem, and therefore by akida gruf uktum is going to help, and by a katanu gruf uktum is not even going to help. So if you believe that a tana b'yameinu is worse than akida, then a blech is not even going to help. The Sfardim Amakmer, the Shkenazim Amek. The Rebbe writes a meaning law. Let's talk about ovens. Let's first talk about the stovetop, then we'll talk about the oven, then we'll talk about the hot plate.
Today.
Yeah.
Shabbos Oh, and like Shabbos.
Let's talk about the Shabbos mode. Let's talk about everything now. Let's talk about the stovetop. There's two svaras that I brought. One is from the Moshe Feinstein, and one from the Brisker Rav. The Moshe writes in the Shuvas and Chelik Aleph from the Rechaim Siman Pei Daled. He says, ich verstehe nicht. He says, L'choyre bezman hazeh, there's no issue. Why would you need a blach? He says. Chacham was scared. Shema yechata begecholam. Chacham never said Shema yovi oid eitzim mehayar v'Shema yovi lachtav yar eitzim bayar.
Shabbos, you're not gonna do that. That's too much.
Right. Shema yechata begecholam shein poi. That's what Chacham said. Okay. Now
The Chate when Moshe right is talking about the knob.
no. So he says like this. What are you scared? What are you scared? The person's going to turn the knob
You're
higher.
not gonna forget a Shabbos.
He's forget a Shabbos, turn the knob higher. Yeah. He says that's as if he went to the forest and chopped wood and brought new wood. Why? Because the gas that are here that blow is not going to help you to blow the gas. If you're going to take a shovel and start turning over your oven, you're not going to. You maybe going to have a fire and your whole house is going to burn down.
Right.
But your food is not going to cook quicker
Right.
by taking a shovel and start turning things around. So what's the only thing you might do? You forget it's Shabbos and you're going to turn the knob. But that's not what Chazal were talking about. Chazal were not talking about bringing new eitzim, new gas. So Rashi says, listen, you could say, if I was Rebbe Ashi living today and I saw a Tanner, how easy it is to turn the knob, I would for sure make a gzeda. So for that, you have to be fiddler in the roof. If I was a rich man. If Rebbe Ashi would have had a Tanner, but Rebbe Ashi didn't have a Tanner, and Rebbe Ashi was only goizer that you're going to bechata begecholim. He didn't goizer, maybe you're going to put new eitzim. And if you turn the knob, that's new eitzim. That's like bringing new eitzim. So, me'echi teisi. Then a Briskerov also has a svara. Briskerov says, almost the same as Moshe. Chazal made a gzeda, if you have gecholim here, you're going to take a shovel and start turning them around. When you have a gas oven or electric oven, there's nothing you can do with this coil and with this gas to make it bigger. Again, it's similar to that svara. You could bring more gas, you could bring more electric, but there's nothing you could do.
Make the fire bigger.
Right. Yeah. It's like you went into the forest and you chopped off tree and you brought new weights. But Ashi never was goizer for that. Well, says in Moshe, why did they say if a tanner has kashuk vova that you don't need a mutter? Maybe he'll forget it Shabbos and he'll go put eitzim in there and then turn it around.
We're not choishes.
Not choishes for that.
Like we say in the Gemara, we're not choishes. It's going to break the seal.
Right.
You're going to realize
Right.
that it's Shabbos.
What are you going to say? You're going to say, man, Moshe, you don't realize? Take a nanosecond. Let's go like this. If Rabashi was here, for sure would have been goizer. He would have said you have to put a lock and a key on top of the knobs. Yeah, could be if Rabashi was. If.
And that's why some people say the best
If-
goes
yeah,
this and
yeah,
to cover
yeah.
the
So the Moshe says, I understand. He says, okay, the Welt is not to have a blech, you have to have a blech. He says, but he says in that tshuva, to say that you cover just the fire is good enough. But to say you're just going to cover just the knobs,
that's not enough.
that's not enough. Because that wasn't what Abashi said. That's not what the Mishnah says. The Mishnah says you have to cover the coals. You have to cover the coals. You have to cover the fire. And if you want to be mechadish, say a chumrah, they should also make a blech that has an extra thing to cover the knobs. Okay. Doesn't hate Jalista, but not you can't say that the covering the knobs is going to be instead of putting a blech on the fire, because that's Chum said to cover the fire. Okay.
And now that the love and now the buttons, and once you press Shabbos mode, that's it. No matter what you're pressing, that's it. Doesn't help you.
There is
The new ovens, right?
Shmiri Shabbos Hilchos says that all the ovens that they have a Shabbos mode. So I said yesterday, it's funny that's called a Shabbos mode. It should be called a Yom Tov mode. Why? Because Shabbos, when you say Shabbos mode, you're already passing the Shaila. You said, what do you mean Shabbos mode? The kilu, when you press that button, everything is kosher v'yosher. But me'echitesi, maybe you need a blech. Chazanish says that an oven, you know what kind of blech the Chazanish says you need? You need to have a metal box. One,
Like in
two,
Pesach, like in
3,
Pesach.
4, 5, 6.
A box in a box.
A box in a box, like the Pesach, yeah. That's what the Chazanish holds. The
The minute is not.
the minhag is not like that, but the Rabbi Auerbach says, Shlomo Zalman Shmuel Chappos Kolchosa says that when you press the Shabbos mode, that's like a blech. Those that argue saying azoy, I would say, like I said yesterday, if you have a knob to turn, then it's taka true. There's a chash. Like we used to have a hot water and there was a knob that you could turn. So you could say a chash, right? The person going to turn. He wants hotter water. He can maybe even turn off the Shabbos mode, and then he'll go like this and turn the dial. So you could say there's a chash, but oven that has a Shabbos mode. There's no knobs. There's nothing. So in order for you to if you want to make the fire hot, you have to turn off the Shabbos mode. It usually takes a little bit of time for the computer to reboot, and then the system closes, and then it goes back to the regular. Then you have to start pressing a few buttons to get back to the regular, and then you can put on bake, and whatever you want to put it for 425.
You're not cautious of it. It's too much.
It's too much. But Liyeses, if you want to have a blech, I would say that in the bottom shelf of the oven, where usually the gas comes from the bottom, or even electric oven, if it's on bake, usually the heat is coming from the bottom, not on the top. The top
Then
is
you have to
usually
stand in the bag, make the
Machnushtu is the fan is only
It's called
convect bake.
yes.
So
Doesn't make a difference if you put it at the bottom or the top on the side.
and the thing is that that's only a fan, really. It's a fan. It's like a fan.
It is in fact.
Right, they're just taking the heat and
It's
circulating the heat.
all over.
But I would say the SSAs, if a person puts food in the oven, they should put a blech. You could put a heavy piece of silver foil, like the emissaries.
And
the first. Some say that a silver foil is not a blech. Number one, because it's not memayit achoim. It has to be a little bit memayit achoim. So a regular blech is memayit achoim. A blech is memayit achoim. You need to have a scientist to show you how it's memayit achoim. Metal conducts heat very well.
Very strong.
So it's a mashu shebemashu. It's memayit. So silver foil. The truth is, if you have a shelf in the oven, right, and you put a silver foil almost the whole thing, it's memayit achoim 10 times more than if you put a blech on the fire. Why?
Because now you can circle.
The heat is not circulating well in the oven.
It's circle, but very, very
Schwach.
schwach.
So forget one piece of silver foil.
It's like Pesach when you put the refrigerator with also. You kill it.
Exactly. By end of Pesach, if your refrigerator is still working, you'd say a bracha.
Right.
Baruch Hashem, the refrigerator is still working. Same thing here. When you're going to put the silver foil on the bottom, even if you don't put it 100%, put your memayit achoim. Some say, silver foil is not good because it's not a hecker. Because a lot of balabostas put silver foil
on the food, and the water shouldn't drop.
But it's not true because most balabostas are not going to put a silver foil on the bottom.
The whole thing.
Because there's not going to be air circulation. And every balabosta understands
it's chemically dangerous. Hot silver.
It's also not good, exactly. It's not going to do it. So I think you could put, but don't put mamish from cover to cover and side to side in takazoid. You're going to have a problem when your oven. You're going to break your oven. So put, 92%, 95%, put on the little extra silver for lazoi. And that's Lieses Ace plus the Shabbos mode. Like I said, the Shabbos mode is a Yom Tov mode. That's just easy to call it a Shabbos mode. What's a pshat of a Shabbos mode? Shabbos mode means that usually when you open the oven, The oven has a sensor, and it's a very delicate sensor. If you said you want the oven to be 350, the second you open it, it's already the heat
You're
goes
not
down.
stop.
So it's as if you press the button to turn on the light on Shabbos.
Right.
So the Shabbos mode makes, even if the heat goes into the oven, and instead of 350 now, it's 325, it's not going to immediately it's the same like the Shabbos in the refrigerator, the Shabbos mode in the refrigerator. It's not like the second you open up and a little bit of wind comes in, that right away the motor is going to turn on.
It'll wait till it go to 200.
It'll wait, and then eventually it'll turn on. So that's really that's okay. Now there's some that say again, he says that there's a hot plate that you plug in. So that you don't need a blech. Why? Two spots. One is that you can never cook on it, but it's not true. Some hot plates are very hot.
Mine is very hot.
They say because it's not shayach shem yachat v'gacholim.
There's nothing. There's no buttons even.
If you get to Shabbos and you want food to get hotter, what are you going to do? You'll pull out the plug and put it back in? No, but he's not gaining anything anyway. Besides that, it's too much. He's staying out. But he's not gaining anything. So that's what they're making.
What if you have like low, medium,
Problem.
Yeah.
Problem.
My bluff doesn't have any buttons.
If you don't have any buttons,
I mean, not bluff.
because throwing buttons are very problematic. That's not what the Gemara says to do. Gemara says to cover the fire. So if you're going to cover, if you have a hot plate that has a medium and a high, then what you need to do is to put a silver foil on it, and maybe put a double silver foil. This way, someone says, "Oh, maybe silver foil is not nicker because it's for cleanliness." Okay, put double silver foil, so it's nicker that it's a blech, and that's good. Same thing, the hot water.
The tanurim that we have, or let's say we make a bikiddish, we have like a small box, you plug it in, and you keep warm. It's not
a good shaila. If the
food.
shaila is, and we're going to get to it later in the simon, if that's a tano, why? Because the chayre you can never cook in it.
You can't cook in it. Keep you warm.
My nafkamina, and nafkamina is lagabe chazor. The din is toy chatanor. You're never allowed to be machzor on Shabbos. This is the one of Chelbe we learned last week that Chelbe Amarav said that in a tanur you're never allowed loishon lagabe toy.
I can't believe
You're not allowed to put toichem b'Shabbos. No way, no how. I don't care if you were still holding it with two hands. You never put it on the counter.
Once it went out.
Once it went out of the tanur,
right.
even if it's piping hot,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You're not allowed to put it back in.
How is there even a discussion about returning? For sure, it's not.
Not allowed to, even if it's very hot.
Yeah.
So that's what Rebbe said. That once it went out on Shabbos,
that's it.
Because if you have group of tummy, you can put al gaboy. You can't put betoiche. You can't put betoiche.
Like some people told me they take schnitzel from Friday that was caught. You eat.
That's a separate problem. That's mamish.
And they want to put it in the oven. It's like
that's cold. That's cooking. That's anyway.
No, it's not cooking. It's cold. And now you boil.
Well, that will. That's what Alter is very machmir. We'll learn the Shim Yotches. Here's a different thing. Say it's a hot cholent or hot cool, burning hot. It's 1,000 degrees, and it's still in your hand, and you want to put it back in the oven, and there's a blech. You're still not allowed to. That's what Reb Chelbe said. Reb Chelbe said, "Lo yishonu elo al gaboy, avol betoichoy also," and that's what we're going to learn about next week.
So this tanur that you have, what is it called?
So these plug-in tanurim. We have to clear because at the end of the day, you can never cook in these tanurim. These things that you plug in.
No matter if the door is open 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute.
If you put food in there for 20 hours, it's never going to get cooked.
Right.
It's only a warmer. So enough irons.
What about a crock?
So it could be a cooler that you could.
Crock pot will also do.
Can you take out food from the crock?
That's shinyutches. That's called mavashel b'Shabbos. We'll leave it because that's going to be our next project.
Oh.
That's megis because the problem is you're moving it while it's on the fire. And it's not Shem Yechata. In general, in this simon is all about Ashash. Shem Yechata Begechol. Okay, that will leave for then. Hot plate, hot water urn. I already also mentioned yesterday about a hot water urn. Hot water urn is the Zavazach. If you have a Shabbos mode. If there's no mode, A lot of the hot water, you just plug it in, plug it out. It's the same thing like a hot plate in Shabbos. It's not shaykh shemiyachat. The person wants hotter water.
You're not gonna put more water on top. You're not gonna open it.
What are you
You're
gonna do?
fill up more.
We had once over here until someone broke it, and so there was something that always used to make it hotter. However hot it is, you would always turn the dial a little more.
Even on Shabbos.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah, then it came in the morning, it was empty.
Right. Okay, so over there's a shashem yechatim. That Shema, he'll turn the dial.
Right.
So, and now covering the dial is not good enough because mehechitesi, the chazal said to cover the fire. So we're going to put a silver foil. You're going to put in the silver foil in the urn at the bottom. So we're going to put a silver foil. It's not shy. So the only thing that you could do for that is to cook the water. It should be at least 50% cooked before the sun sets.
That's the Macha ben Dosai.
So since it was already cooked in Michael ben Soy,
Even water is like
yeah, even water.
it's just
I know,
You're not kosher that you're gonna make it warm.
but it has to be cooked by the sun sets. It has to be cooked in Michael ben Soy, and then we're not choishish lechitui. So if it has buttons or it has dials, the only thing you could do is to make sure you put in the water miboid yoim. By the time the sun sets, the shkia, that it's at least 50% cooked. The emes in water, it's a little complicated. What's 50% cooked? The best thing would be that it's boiled. Once it's boiled, yeah, again. But if it's a hot water urn that doesn't have any buttons, nothing. Saltnishkin buttons. A lot of them they have no buttons. It's a cheap thing. You buy it, huh?
the one we have now.
Yeah. There's no buttons, schmuttons, nothing. You have a plug, you plug it in, you plug it out. So over there, it's a what? He wants it to be hotter. Forget it, Shabbos. So what is he going to do? There's nothing he could do anyway. But if there is buttons or there is dials, then Shaykh, don't forget Shabbos will do. So then it should be that the water is cooked before the sun sets. Okay, let's learn Schnell. Let's see if you would see if we can click through it, see if you would be This is all if the Kedera is not touching the Gecholim. If the pot is standing on top of the Gecholim, even if the Gecholim are schwach, or there is a inch of sand on top of it, also Becholim, even if he's not happy that it's cooking. That's called a tmona. That's why I didn't want to talk about the crackpots till we get to the issue of atmona, because atmona is a whole different animal. It's a whole different set of problems. Chazal said that Eina matminim b'davar ha'moisav hevel. You're not allowed to be matmin with something which is moisav hevel. That you could put a towel around the kededa in order for it to stay hot. But if that towel has a plug, like those,
blanket, warm blanket.
Yeah, warm blanket that has a plug. Says moisav hevel. Then you're not allowed to put it. So if you remember Rashi, when Rashi said in the Chelboy, in the beginning of the Hava Min Gemara, so the Rashi says that what's the difference Gabe v'toiche? What's Gabe? What's toiche? Rashi says toiche means it's touching the gecholim. It's touching the pot. The bottom of the pot is touching the gecholim. That's called hatmona b'davar hamoisav hevel. And we know that you're not allowed to be matma b'davar hamoisav hevel. So that's Shittas Rashi, and many already shining all that way. But Tosis disagrees. It's only if the towel is hugging the data around it. And he's also even if it's only the bottom of the kedera is touching a cholam, but all around the kedera there is a towel. So even if only 20% of the kedera is Moisef Hevel. And the other 80% is a towel. Doesn't matter. Because a little bit of Moisef Hevel, it's called Tomon B'Davar Moisef Hevel. I will come, but over here, Afsha Doifne Akira. Oyatana Makifim, Saviv Doifne Akira, Bafim, Pim, Sasam, Lamayla, Machomokim. Kimish Aim Shum Davaram Kaltal Dovik Saviv Doifne Akira. Ain't in the Krat It's not called Atmona. The time she's about the Semination saying, Ain Shum Yisra Mashim, Medislok Abadavar Moisef Hevel, Machina Minik. That Davar Moisef Hevel, Atmona, means that he took a towel and he wrapped it around, all around, and it's wrapped from all sides. But over here, it's sitting in a tanur. So the walls of the tanur are not hugging the gdeda. There's a gecholim on the bottom. That's not called tmona b'davar moisef. I'm sorry, that's not called a tmona b'davar. This discussion is going to be a whole very negeya when we're going to get to the crackpot, because the crackpot that's the problem. You have a plug. And some of the crackpots is just on the bottom, which is it's only moist part on the bottom. But some crackpots have
around,
have around, and some say, "Oh, that's so that's how we leave
keep
it.
Warm. There's an option of keep warm.
Keep the crackpot on the side for now. I feel like
You actually mevashel a cockpot.
exactly.
And the cockpot.
Kol sheken. I feel like it's makifas dvukas def nagdei. And even if there's gecholim around the gedeta, but since in the top it's sticking out, that's not called atmona. Hello. Shabbos also Yisrael lita lagdeta misham b'Shabbos. The feature I did in Tilas Gedeta umechatas gecholim al yonis v'neflas latachtanis umechabes oisim. Well, yonis hey nivoris me'aleim al dechitu zeh. Vav shoynim eskaven lachtas makom sikresha v'la yamasu shief shalit lagdeta shleichata gecholim.
Why is Mechata?
Because if he has gecholim, say the kedera is sitting up to its neck in gecholim,
Right.
there's coals all around.
That's the tunnel. And
He's going to pull, and then he's going to pull the pot out.
Right.
What's going to happen with the coals that are sitting here?
They're going to come together, yeah.
They're going to fall down.
Right.
That second that falls down, half of the coal became weaker, and the other half of the coal became stronger.
What is it?
That's like machata v'gecholim. Whenever you
the top one falling in the bottom.
That's like machata v'gecholim.
You can't take it out. How are you going to take it out?
So you can't take it out. So it's not a problem of atmona b'davar moisef hevel, but if you have coals around it, you have a problem. How are you going to take it out? Tell a goy to take it. It is psikresha, but psikresha by goy is mutter. Vagoy ain't a muza klal ala Shabbos. Elo sheoser lo nilu shol chelatz isa. We just lost a minion.
Yeah, some happen. We
have. We have. Okay, good. So he says, Poshet. What is he saying? When you send a goy to take this pot, when you send the goy to take this pot, you didn't tell him to turn the gecholim. You told him take the pot. But by a yid, we say person says, "Oh, I was looking for a toy for my baby. I cut off the head of the chicken as a toy. I didn't know the chicken is going to die."
No,
you can't say that.
Right.
And simply you can't say such a thing. But if you tell the goy
to take out,
you take it out. No. You didn't tell the goy to turn the gecholim. It's psikeresha v'lo yamus.
By goy you're allowed.
Goy is not muzah. And this is not my shlichus. I didn't send him to turn gecholim. I just sent him to take out the pot. It's a very delicate nakuda. Maybe Sunday morning we'll expand on this. Finish the sif quick. Have a next sif because it's negav. Afim gecholim ain't so vakdere. Ela tachta min adim mutar afil lisor litru. Shafim yin anei ktsasa gecholim. Al yedei natilas akdere lo yuvru. Al yedei kaf. Lo yuch. Yuchbu afim muktzes v'osel tatla muktzah Philip and no kolshu. Kolmot and Kimishim and Neighbor Yoda, Elia Dekdata, raise the Nikra, Tiltlamatzad, Vemba Isukla. But if the Gecholim is not around, the Gecholim are only on the bottom. And again, we pass like Toys that this is not called Atmon of the Vemois of Evel. So you're allowed to pick it up.
I
Muktzah. You're making a fire b'Shabbos. Muktzah, it's tiltal menatzat. And mitzat fire, it's not. It's a minuya kal, a little bit. It's not going to do anything. Ela shemakomokum lechatchila lo yitlena Yisrael ba'atzmei ela yidei goy. Mein shem goy yitlena ba'atzmei. Yizor litla benacha shelo yachata b'gacholim. Af shelo yenanei. Wow. Im ef shelo. Lefi sheyish oimrim shafila al yidei ninua belavad hem mizbar is ktsas. V'kivin shu noitla benacha min sheyuchli shelo yenanei klal en kam sikreshe v'lo yombas. Af im and it's not a psikration. So he's saying like this. Most opinions say that it's only called chitui if you're pulling it out, and all of a sudden all the cave in. So then you're not allowed to do it, because then besides muktzah, it's also the gecholim. You can only do it through a goy. But if it's in the bottom, it's ninua. You're a little bit touching, so that's not. But some hold no. Even the ninua ktsas, that's going to be considered.
That's called chitui.
So you should do better. Take a goy. If you don't have a goy, just do it very gentle, like pick it up as gentle as you could, that you're not being minaneach b'gecholim at all. And if you're not being minaneach b'gecholim, then it's good. You didn't do anything wrong.
It's not shachar at all.
Yeah, but
Okay, let's stop at this. I think we pushed in Yudal of Sifim.
Okay.
That's good.
it's a little sketchy for you to do it.
That's sketchy. That's better for you to do it.
Because
The second
what do you know?
oh,
How do you know it's not going to happen?
right? Therefore,
Can't
it's
get
better to have a goy.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
very good.
Graceman. Want to,
I have a Shabbos, what is it, the electric thing.
Shabbos light.
Yes.
I use it all the time. When I come from work, I want to heat up food. I just put it on it. It's so strong.
Right. That's why the cooler that it doesn't cook is
But
not
if I
cooler.
put on
The thing
Erev
is
Shabbos
because-
something on it, like a kugel, by the next day it's already dried up. By Shabbos morning it's dry. It's only
right,
good
they're
for
very
the night.
strong. Right, they're
Yeah.
good for night. The Bemas, they're very strong.
I don't know if all of them are, but that one is.
I think on Grippa, on Agrippa, there's a store, there's a place you can buy food, and I think they use a Shiur,
It's a cutback that you
a
put on top of-
Shiur.
Okay, very nice.
Yes, koyach, Rebbe, just koyach.
Yeah, I think
Yishakaya
it's on Agrippa.
for joining us. A good Nacht.
Thank you.
L'chaim, l'chaim.
L'chaim.
Go to.